At the Animal Agriculture Alliance Summit in Kansas City, we're going to talk with Tim McIntyre, Executive Vice President with Domino's, in charge of communication, investor relations, and legislative affairs. And Tim, you're on the program tomorrow here with the agenda item Extremists in the Boardroom, responding to activist investors. And a lot of folks in agriculture have really appreciated the stand that Domino's has taken over the years as far as animal rights extremists. So talk about that, if you would, and a little background on that.
Sure. Thank you, Ken, and I'm really happy to be here. Domino's has a corporate social responsibility statement regarding animal welfare, and the first sentence is, "We love farmers." It's there not as a marketing tool, it's there because it's true. And, we have a long history, 57 years, of needing farmers for our brand, and we recognize that without farmers, there is no food. And we take the position that the farmers are the experts. They are best equipped to decide how to raise their animals, how to raise their crops. We will never tell farmers how to do their jobs. We appreciate everything that they do. And we have translated that philosophy to dealing with the extremists, and that is the right word. We don't call them activists. We call them extremists because language is powerful, and if you pick the right words, it helps you frame your thinking. And we're not afraid to stand up for the farming community against the extremists who are trying to harm them.
So basically, you're saying farmers do what they do, we do what we do, and we're not going to tell them how to do it.
That's right. We will never tell a farmer how to farm. We will never tell a rancher how to raise his or her animals. What we believe is that they're the experts. They have the most vested interest in raising their livestock. It's not just a job. We recognize that. It's a life, and we appreciate that. And we are not afraid to stand up and say so. And we have a philosophy that we will never tell them how to do their jobs.
Now, you have had the pressure, I'm sure, from these extremists. And, we've seen so many companies, I use the term cave, over the years. Is the pressure pretty extreme?
It can be, and it comes and goes. But I think over the years, because we have taken the tact of what I call leaning into the punch, and we've taken the punch, and sometimes we punch back, that we've been lucky enough to see that the extremists will go away when they realize that we are not going to cave. We've had them protesting in front of our headquarters. We've had them show up in our shareholder meetings. We've had resolutions put on our proxies. But, what the extremists will do is what they do is really peddle in fear and doubt. And when they put a resolution on a public company's proxy for shareholder votes, a lot of companies will negotiate to try to get the resolution off the proxy so that it stays more quiet than public. And we do the opposite. In the face of fear, we won't blink. We will look at the resolution, we'll do the research, we'll talk to farmers, we'll talk to scientists, and we will frame a response based on what the request is, or in some cases what the accusations are. And when it has come to multiple resolutions from the extremist groups, from controlled atmosphere killing of chickens to debudding cattle, we've responded with very reasoned, sound, polite responses. And those extremist groups have never gotten more than 3 or 4% of shareholder votes. So when the threshold of their support is that small, they can't come back with the same topic, and that's how we handle it. The challenge for us is seeing our peers in the restaurant industry cave, and whether it's understanding the real hazards around cage-free eggs, but loving the term, so they use the term. We won't do that. It's a philosophy that is ingrained in us from the very beginning, that we will support what farmers do because they support us, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Well, as I said, I know a lot of folks in agriculture have appreciated that, because you're one of the few companies left, I think, that have taken that stance, and it remains to be seen how that's going to work out for the others, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I try not to think about the other brands, other than if there is a message to other brands out there dealing with extremist groups, I would invite them to call me, because I have spoken to other restaurant companies over the years and shared with them our philosophies, our strategies, what I think are the best tactics to take. And in some cases, when it's not about putting something on a public company's proxy, but it's just dealing with the threatening emails or the phone calls, really the best answer is to be deaf, to not hear them, to not respond, to not give them a platform, because the biggest mistake we make is believing that they are reasonable people, and we've learned that they're not. That's why they're called extremists.
Mm-hmm.